Hello, and welcome to the October 2024 episode of the Select Board Roundtable. I am Clerk Michelle Conlon. I'm joined by my colleagues here. If you would like to introduce yourselves.
Sure, I'm John Samia.
Teresa Flynn.
Carlos Garcia.
Beth Cassavant.
And we are on location today at the Shrewsbury Senior Center in front of our beautiful new food pantry. We have a special guest today, Hollie Lucht from the Council on Aging. Hollie, would you like to tell us why we're here today?
Sure. So again, I'm Hollie Luke. I'm the Shrewsbury Council on Aging Director. And one of the reasons why we're here today is because just in August, the first week of August, we opened up a new food pantry. We received a $20,000 MCOA grant, Massachusetts Council on Aging grant, last year. And with that money, what we did was we completely renovated an old storage room and made it a food pantry. And one of the reasons that we did that is that since COVID, we've noticed that there's been a lot of food insecurity, especially with the seniors within the town of Shrewsbury. So we wanted to take an initiative and kind of try to fight that, and we thought, why not take the $20,000 and create what we have created over here. As I mentioned, it did open on the first week of August. To date, we have over 55 households actually taking part of the food pantry, and it's growing every single day.
Thank you, Hollie. We have, been working, as the Select Board has been working to address food insecurity sort of community-wide, and this is one important piece of it. One of the reasons why we are able to do this right now is we had ARPA funding from the federal government, and Beth, if you want to tell us a little bit about
Sure.
our ARPA funding and how we came to where we are right
Yeah,
now.
so we spent a lot of time sort of talking about how to expend the funds and what we wanted to do, and we wanted to make sure that the funds were used in a way that benefited as many people as possible in the community. And like you said, right, like we know that the need for food has really increased because other costs have increased, right? And so when you're struggling to pay rent, or you're struggling to pay your mortgage or your car payment or your utility bills, food sometimes is the last thing to go on the table. And we know that we've seen efforts on the state level to make sure that there are free meals in schools for all students. And so this is a natural extension of that, to make sure that that safety net exists for people of all ages. So it's really wonderful to see this opportunity. We have St. Anne's in the community, and they serve, I believe, 150 families. But there just seems to never be an end to the need. So we did put aside money specifically to address food insecurity, and we also put aside money to help residents directly in a program that will be ending soon, just because ARPA funds have to be expended by the end of this calendar year. So anybody who's watching, there is a resident assistance program that does provide help with your rent or your mortgage or your utility bills, but it's only for a few more weeks that we'll be able to take applications for that. And again, if people need some assistance with that process, they can contact the town manager's office. They can look on our website, because there is information. And I know that here at the Council on Aging, if people are 60 or over and they're looking to fill out a SMOC application, yes, or a rental assistant application through RAFT, that they get help here. And people who are under 60, that support comes from Shrewsbury Youth and Family Services.
Yeah. So one of the important pieces of us working on this food insecurity piece, but also social safety net issues in the community is, sort of community-wide collaboration with different organizations. We have the Council on Aging, the Senior Center here. We have St. Anne's that you mentioned has a really robust food pantry system. And we have the Worcester County Food Bank. Mr. Samia introduced us to a friend that works at the Worcester County Food Bank, and we had some really productive meetings with them. And working on how we can help everybody in our community, make sure that we're doing everything that we can. We have also partnered with Shrewsbury Youth and Family Services on how we can expand access to all of the resources that are available in our community. We have, in addition to St. Anne's and the food pantry here, we also have a community fridge. So that is an it's actually located outside of the senior center here, and it was sponsored by the Shrewsbury Rotary Club, but it's a community-run fridge. There's not really anybody that's in charge of it. It's something, you take what you need and leave what you can, and a lot of really generous people in our community regularly stop by and leave food for people who need it, pet supplies, toiletries, and things like that. So,
Just a quick question for Holly. So for this food pantry here, can members of the community donate to the pantry? And then if a family would need assistance with food pantry, how would they go about requesting an opportunity to the pantry?
Sure. So for this food pantry particularly, it is supplemental to Shrewsbury seniors, and a Shrewsbury senior is anybody that's 60 plus. But we also use it for emergency purposes, so our fire and police can come in should somebody be displaced in the town, or anybody who just might need some extra food, in their homes. So anybody that works for the town can actually come in and take those things, work with our outreach coordinator, Renee DiArgento. We absolutely take food donations. That's really how we're supplying everything inside there most of the time. We do also use the state formula grant funds that the Council on Aging Department receives. So we also will use those funds, and in addition to that, we have a great partnership with a local farm in Acton. So up until the first week of December, I believe, every week we pick up 12 banana boxes of fresh produce, and we stock the refrigerator, and anything that we have that's over, we always either put it in the community refrigerator, or Renee DiArgento, the outreach coordinator, takes it down to any one of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority locations, so we make sure that we share. So nothing gets thrown away.
Thank you.
So to John's question, it sounds like people 60 plus can come in at any time. What are the hours? It sounds like you don't need an appointment. So maybe just for those who might be watching who are curious about how they could direct others to access, or if they need to access themselves.
Sure. So right now, what our policies state is that anybody can call Renee to make an appointment to come in to fill out a registration first, and then she makes appointments for them that can be repeated on a weekly basis or biweekly or monthly, whatever that family should need. Right now, we're doing appointments Tuesdays, so the hours would be 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. We do request that people contact Renee to make the appointment so they're not turned away. Again, should somebody be in a real emergency situation, they can absolutely come in. They can call any one of us at the senior center, and we're happy to assist them where we can.
we have, you've talked about people coming in to get food services from the food pantry here, but what about families that may have seniors or families in the community that don't have transportation and have an issue accessing it? One of the ways that we've used our ARPA funding that we've allocated towards this is we bought a vehicle for the town to use. I think we're still working on the branding of the vehicle, but it's going to be, community connections or community outreach vehicle to reach homebound seniors, families without transportation, and we've also partnered with the RISE program, which operates in Maple and Maine, over in the center of town. We had Patrick Collins, who recently retired from the school department, has volunteered and sort of on this effort, and he was really instrumental in partnering the RISE program with St. Anne's to help establish a home delivery program. So we're still working out the logistics and the kinks of that, but it's something that's coming and we're really excited about it. Can you tell us about volunteer needs?
Yes.
And opportunities that we have here for members of the community?
Absolutely. So if we're speaking first to the food pantry volunteer needs, so as I mentioned, we have a lot of food donations that come in, and basically it's Renee that is taking those food and making sure that they're not expired, that they're healthy food options. She makes sure that they're all organized inside of the food pantry, as well as taking appointments, meeting with people, their families, seeing what other resources they need. So one of the things that we're looking for are volunteers to kind of help lessen the load. So it could be helping somebody come into the food pantry and pick up the items that work best for them. It could be dropping items off to any one of the housing authority locations, because that takes a lot of time. As soon as Renee comes out of the senior center, there's always somebody else looking for her. So anybody who wants to volunteer to assist in making sure that there's food in another location, that is a big one too. And really helping us collect food. That seems to be a big one. So we're never not collecting food. So anybody at any given time can come in. One of the things that we're trying to do for the next few months looking forward is really include the community as well as the partners that we have for the Council on Aging Department, and offering them an opportunity to also be seen. So anything that they do for us, we want to make sure we do something back for them. So for every business or family or anything like that, we want to give back to them, and we'll provide their logo, their business name, their link on our websites, in our marketing material, because this is how big the need is. So we really need everybody's help here.
Thank you. So who would, if somebody wanted to volunteer here, who could they contact to?
Casey Bogan is our Assistant Council on Aging Director, so she is head of volunteers. So first what somebody would do is they would come into the senior center, they talk to one of our receptionists, they would ask them for a volunteer packet. At that time, before anybody leaves, we always ask for a copy of their license so we can start their Corey checks right away, so nobody's waiting. And then once everything checks out, Casey then sends the volunteer applications over to Renee. Renee contacts them, lets them know what we have available, and then we sign them up. It's
Great.
that easy.
That's great. I know with the RISE program, having partnered with St. Anne's, recently there was, they did an exercise on the boxes of food that a family can go and pick up at St. Anne's, and they asked the students at the RISE program to go to various grocery stores in the community and purchase that list of food that a family could take home from St. Anne's. And I think the numbers were something between $110 and $150 a week at local grocery stores is what they're able to access over there. And so it's a really wonderful collaboration. We're hoping to help expand some partnerships with local grocery stores. A lot of them make donations to local pantries and, like you said, local farms and things like that, really expanding that access to food for everyone in our community. You mentioned Casey Bogan. So Casey has worked with member Garcia and myself on making Shrewsbury a dementia-friendly community. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So one of the goals that we've had for a few years, actually prior to COVID, was making the town of Shrewsbury dementia friendly. And I'm happy to say that Casey was able to come in and she contacted all of the right people, including the Alzheimer's Association, which has been a tremendous help. We also have a few partners that within some of our assisted livings and things that assist Casey. And what she does is she provides dementia-friendly trainings, informational sessions for anybody in Shrewsbury that wants it. And what she did was she took a couple of courses, so she is trained to be able to provide those informational sessions. So to date, what we've done is we've started with our Interage Alliance that we have, which is our Shrewsbury High School student youth group. So everybody that volunteers here will receive some of the dementia-friendly sessions with Casey, as well as town departments and small businesses, or any businesses actually in Shrewsbury. And we, in turn, when people come to do these things with Casey, we give them back a certificate that says that they are dementia friendly now too. We suggest they put it somewhere where it's visible, so local people, when people enter their business, they can see those things. And Casey has something planned for each month for the rest of this fiscal year, so that is until June. So watch out for news splashes and things like that. They should be coming to emails to everybody.
Yeah, I know at our next meeting next week, I believe that Select Board Member Garcia and myself are going to receive the training to become dementia friends. And is there anything you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just been a great initiative that's been led by Casey. You know, it involves other stakeholders across the community. It's just very important that we're making sure that we are able to help residents and guests appropriately. And so appreciate her leadership in leading the trainings, not just for town staff, but for business owners. I have received feedback from other residents in the community that want to become dementia friends themselves, so that is open to them. And I think that is just, I really appreciate her leadership there. I know that we have set aside some funds to purchase some furniture for the COA, so if you want to talk about
Yes.
maybe what that looks like for those at home who may not really think about that aspect.
Sure. So I'm very excited. So the weekend of November 7th and the 8th, the Senior Center is getting a little bit of a makeover, and that includes new carpeting. And one of the reasons why I'm very excited about the carpeting, beyond just having something aesthetically nice, is it will be dementia friendly. So the colors are very important for the Senior Center to start enhancing the needs to make sure it's age friendly and dementia friendly. So on top of that, as Carlos just mentioned, we do have the capital request that I had put in, and we did just order all new furniture for the Senior Center. That includes about 140 new chairs, 120 of them with arms, and 20 new tables, and actually 25 if we count the longer event tables. And they're a darker color, so they're easier for people to see, so they're not so easily blending. So for us, these tables look like we can see them, but for some other people, as they're aging, they start to lose those colors. So when people come in the next, maybe the first week of December, they're going to see pretty much a brand new Senior Center. And one of the other things that we're also doing with that is signage. Signage is really, really important for people who have dementia. So we're going to be starting to increase the signage around the Senior Center and hopefully carry that throughout the town.
That's great. I remember the first meeting that Mr. Garcia and I attended. I'm not sure if it was you or somebody else was telling a story about a woman who was suffering from dementia who had stopped washing her dishes. And okay, so could you tell the story, because it really explained why those visual and sort of aesthetic changes are important to making the Senior Center and our community as a whole more dementia friendly.
Sure. So many years ago, I used to travel from home to home helping people that had people with dementia in their households. And there was a woman who had all of a sudden just stopped doing her dishes. And that was kind of what she did. She was a homemaker. This is what she did forever. So the family had given us a call, and I went to the house, and I just observed for a little while. And she did do other things around the house, but she would not go near the kitchen sink. Well, long story short, the family had put a non-skid mat in front of the kitchen sink, and that non-skid mat was black. And to somebody with dementia, they perceived that as a hole. So therefore, she did not want to go to the sink anymore. So we took the mat away. We waited. She kind of looked around, and she just acted as if she had always done. She just went right back up to the sink and just started washing the dishes. So it's just being observant of new things, new reactions and things like that. We actually see some things sometimes here at the Senior Center, so we're always trying to be aware, so we're making this as safe as a place as we can for the community to come.
Yeah, I noticed the curbing outside has been painted, which helps people suffering from dementia, also people with low vision and mobility impairments. The curbing got painted to improve things like that. So those little changes really add up and can make a big difference for somebody.
So Holly, the carpet now is like gray. So what's the carpet going to be?
It's actually it's all one color. It is a dark beige. So what happens is, one of the best colors for somebody with dementia is actually blue. My goal is to actually take this blue and make it a darker blue, like throughout. So you'll see that when you come into the Senior Center, there's molding throughout. And one of the things that's great about that molding is it does give somebody that is suffering from dementia a path. So it doesn't look like the floor, it doesn't look like the ceilings. So the rug itself, one of the things that is not great about our rug is that the fact that there are lines, there's paths, there's squiggly
Different
marks.
colors.
Yeah, and
Yep.
so it can become confusing, and things like that can actually cause agitation. So what we're trying to do is just make it a very warm, comfortable space that is easy for people to maneuver.
And then, sorry, just
Yeah.
one last thing on that, on the, how the community is becoming more dementia friendly. The library does host a memory cafe on the first and third Friday of each month from 2 to 3:30 p.m. So just more ways for folks at home to, get.
Isn't there one here also?
Yeah, two, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep, so on the opposite weeks of the library, we also have a memory cafe here, and we provide lunches through our formula grant. And there's always an entertainment or an activity, and we have two great facilitators that work with us. And then we always support whatever the library is doing. So we always share those resources with the community.
And the memory cafes are geared for people that are living with dementia and their caregivers.
Yes, correct, yes.
So Holly, it's about to be winter time,
Mm-hmm.
getting dark early. We know we have a lot of seniors aging
Mm-hmm.
in the community. What opportunities are there at the senior center during the winter, programs and the like, to make sure that people can get out? Days get short, weather gets tough,
Mm-hmm.
opportunities for them to come here, as well as during the winter months if they are in place. What are ways to outreach to those individuals as well?
Sure. So certainly there is a thing called sundowning. So at night people can become confused once it starts getting dark. So we always try to provide opportunities, whether it's meal opportunities. So we do have the Tuesday night meals where we have the transportation running. So people have difficulties as they age driving sometimes in the dark. So we're trying to expand the hours that we have for our own vehicles, so we can still offer a good quality for people to get out of their house and give them an opportunity to get home safe. The other thing is we're planning on really increasing our outreach opportunities that we have, so home visits to make sure that people still have the things that they need. One of my goals going forward, and we're starting in December actually, is we're doing Seniors Still Believe, and this is our third year doing Seniors Still Believe. And last year and this year what we did was we're asking for simple large print activity books, and we're asking for more food donations, but to give people an opportunity at home to keep their minds active. We're also offering opportunities for people to be able to volunteer at home. So if we had an event coming up, and let's just say we had posters or something that needed to be put together, opportunities for people to still be involved, but be able to be involved in the comfort of their own home. So with that, we're always looking for volunteers to do wellness calls, to go do some home checks, and again, you would have to come in, do a Cori check, but we are trying to make those increases because the summer months are the winter months are very, very long, as we all know.
Thank you.
There. So you have a few events coming up. I saw today there's a food drive happening right now to help fill the food pantry. I saw some posts on social media. October is Emergency Preparedness Month. So can you tell us about your event that's happening this week and next?
Sure. So we received $4,000 from Massachusetts Council on Aging to support an emergency preparedness event. I actually remember the Rotary Club, I believe,
Yeah.
did something like this a couple of
Couple
years
years
ago,
ago.
and
Yeah.
it was a
Under-
huge event.
It's a huge undertaking. I
Right.
don't know how you're doing with $4,000. That was what I was wondering, because it cost us $5,000.
Yeah, well, it's actually costing about $11,000.
But you're doing like a lot of kits. We only did
Yes.
100 kits, and
Yes.
you're doing like
400.
Yeah.
So we're doing 400 kits. And the reason why I went with 400 is, there's 9,000 seniors in town, and I know that even if people can't come here to the senior center, we're happy to deliver. So we want to make sure that people in the housing authority, people at Meals on Wheels, a lot of people that are living independently and don't have the opportunity to get out of their house has these kits. I think if anything that we've all learned over the past month, watching all of the natural disasters that are happening, is that it can happen anywhere to anybody. So although we wish we could put everything in the kits, I think people will be very happy with the items that they're getting. We have anywhere from foil blankets, we have gallons of water, we have whistles. The departments and our local businesses have been fantastic donating. So I really believe that we're going to get the 400 kits out. The volunteerism that has called the senior center has been bigger than we've ever seen actually for one event.
That's
So
amazing.
we're very excited. So I hope everybody at home remembers, mark your calendar for October 29th. Anybody who is a Shrewsbury senior can come into the senior center between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. to get their kits, and any leftover kits, like I said, will be distributed elsewhere.
Thanks. I think we have just a few minutes left. We're gonna shift gears really quickly and talk about our upcoming annual special town meeting. So we have town meeting coming up in November. We have, is it 11 warrant articles
Right now?
right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Not sure yet.
yeah.
It's always evolving until
Yeah.
we sign the warrant next week.
Which the meeting's on Monday, the November 18th. We've had at our last meeting, a review of the draft warrant. On the 22nd, at our next meeting, the expectation that we'd sign the warrant. The planning board tonight's having a hearing to talk about the one bylaw, I believe. They have a meeting also the 17th of October, as well as the end of the month, to talk about the one recommended bylaw change. I think the finance committee is also the 17th. I wasn't sure where they landed on
Wait, that can't be right, though. Today's the 17th.
Oh, sorry. Wrong date. Oh, that's right, I'm off a week, sorry, guys. Yep, so Finance Committee did not have that meeting.
November 7th.
No, I would say there was a carb date, my bad.
Sorry.
So anyways,
Okay,
22nd will go on, you're right, sorry, wrong month. And then, Planning Board meeting, again, October 30th. The 7th of November is the Finance Committee public hearing on the warrant articles, all of them. The expectation is November 8th, memo distributed to town meeting members in format with an explanation, as we've seen in the past, like the annual town meeting warrant that we get before our May meeting. And then we will, on the 12th of November, give our recommendations on the warrant article as well. I got the month right there.
Yeah, I mean, this is all on the website. There's a ton of meetings and they're all really close together. So
Yeah, I was
think
thinking
it's
of
just-
the Planning Board and Finance Committee had one that had conflict.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they resolved it, but I'm off a week.
Yeah, so they're really important meetings to watch, though. The planning board will take up
Yeah.
the zoning articles that we're addressing, and the finance committee takes up all of the articles that we address. And there's a lot of really great, important information that's shared in those meetings. And town meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 18th. So at Oak Middle School, and do we have anything else before we?
Just remember select board office hours.
Oh, select board office hours. So every other Tuesday, it's the,
The
first
second
Tuesday.
Tuesday
Which is
of
our-
the month.
yeah,
Our first
month.
meeting.
our
Yeah.
first meeting, we
Yeah.
have select board office hours. And on the fourth Tuesday of the month, town manager Ms. Akar has started doing open office hours for him,
We had
so.
a lot of residents as we have.
Yeah,
which is
5:30
great.
to 6:30.
Yes.
And ours are in conference room A, his are in the manager's
And
office.
great.
anyone is welcome.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to have informal discussion and to have any questions answered. So we've had a lot of good interaction with residents over the last few times, so it's been great.
Yeah, people can always reach out to us, right, as well,
Anytime.
by email. Our contact information is also on the town website, and, you know, we always will make time if office hours don't work for someone.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you, Holly, for joining
Yeah.
us today, and thank you for everybody watching. And I think that wraps it up for our October 2024 Select Board Roundtable. Thank you.